Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and tonight I have a very special guest who is part of this revolution of the mind-body-spirit connection, and she very much captures that flavor in her book, The Secret Language of Your Body. Her name is Segal. Thanks, Ina.
Thank you, Alan.
I love how you say we're in the next step of evolution. So we talked about how similar your book is to somebody's like Louise Hay that says how the body's speaking to us. But I love where you take it to the next level. Not that there was anything wrong with that.
No.
But so tell me how you're taking your work in this book beyond where Louise Hay was just saying, oh, the body's a metaphor for psychology. Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm looking at it as the body is a metaphor for our lives and what is happening in our lives and how we're living our lives, right? And so what I did was I discovered that I had this ability to see inside people's bodies, and then I worked with people for years and years. And what I started seeing was that there were certain connections, but they were very powerful and deep. And so then I thought, okay, it's great to understand the body, but how do we heal?
But what connections did you see that were powerful and deep?
I found that, there were things that people were expressing. Let's say if somebody had if we're looking at the throat or the thyroid, and there was a lot of, connection to how we speak and how we express and what we don't express. And, often connected to relationships where whether it's at work or whether it's at home. And so each part of the body I felt had kind of a language that it was speaking in, and it was very similar in different people, but it was very profound.
Right, because the body is a microcosm of our thoughts, or it's a projection of our thoughts. I mean, in a sense, on a spiritual level, they say this isn't real, although it does feel real when you're in pain. But on a spiritual level, it's like it's all a metaphor for the spiritual experience. I mean,
yeah, and and it's like, and you've just said it.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to take it into the spiritual aspect of it, into the emotional, energetic, cellular, genetic, ancestral. So I really started exploring, well, how are our ancestral memories creating this experience?
Well, that's a very interesting point. So you say we inherit the thoughts of and the feelings of our parents and grandparents, and then it gets lodged in the body as hereditary illness even, right? Or
definitely, as illness, as energy, as our inability to live our lives to the fullest.
So the pain we might feel, it wouldn't be mine, it would be my mother's or father's.
Well, you still have to have an experience in your life, right? That makes that pain come to the surface.
I see.
But it goes back.
Because the tendencies of the patterns of the ways we use our bodies tend to be repeated. That's what's also passed down, the thought forms.
Yeah. For example, money, right?
Yes.
That's a big one.
Okay.
So often when people grow up in families, in environments at a time when there were issues with money, it usually gets so lodged inside the body that it's almost like you can feel it. It's in your cellular memories. And even if you try and change your mind, it doesn't work because you literally have to change the memory inside and cleanse it and
So
clear
how
it
do you do that? Let's do that. Do it with me. We can all use more money, but I think my family was okay. But they did come out. My father grew up poor and he worked his whole life, and so how would you cleanse those attitudes?
Well, I mean, there's so many different ways of doing it. Okay.
Well, tune it to me.
All right, I'll tune to you.
How do you talk yourself through the process of how you tune in and what you see, and we can be intimate. I know most of those people. Okay, so tell me.
So what I would do is I'd go, okay, if we're looking at a subject, right, I'd be like, okay, where in your body am I going to start picking this up? And so as I'm starting to scan your body.
Are you scanning my body?
I'm scanning your body.
Okay. How are you doing that?
by focusing my attention onto your body.
Okay.
And it's like it just switches on.
You're just focusing
Yeah.
on where I'm at, my energetic being.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can I focus on you too?
You can do that too.
Okay. No, go. Okay.
So what I'm seeing, there's two things that come up.
Okay.
Right? One is around the chest area.
A holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other area that comes up for most people, which is the spine.
Lower. I've been having lower back problem,
that's
like a
all it's
strain.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
about support, and you know, we
Yeah.
know this is about money and survival and support.
Right. I feel well sometimes, but yeah, but there's parts probably that don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
because there's support on so many different levels.
Right. Okay.
know.
So.
And so then I'm looking at it, right? And I'm actually looking, it's not just lower back, I'm seeing it more in the mid back. area.
Okay. That's
You know,
what you're seeing.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I feel like you have worked through a lot of stuff. This isn't,
Okay.
you know, this is not
So
new.
there's an energy.
Yeah, there's like more of a holding kind of.
Okay. So
yeah,
now.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So what would I do?
Okay, so then I close my eyes to focus a bit better.
Okay.
Sometimes. And so I have found that often, if it's childhood related, it's an inner child issue, right? And it's almost like we've got to go back and allow that inner child part of you permission to play and to have fun with money, because you know so often we're taught things like money's bad and you know and rich people are bad or things, you know, all sorts of things like that. Not everybody gets taught
No,
this,
I know,
but a lot
there-
of people
there's
do.
some of that. Yeah.
You know, and so, or if the parents worked a lot, then the child goes, I don't want to do
Oh,
that.
right, because it was so stressful.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my problem. But
And so then what I would do is I would go, I want you to connect with this part of you.
so should I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I want you to connect to the part of you, whether it's a child part or maybe it's not a child part, but I want you to explore that inside your body and go, which part of you feels a bit limited? You know, and I would ask you to describe it to me.
You want me to describe
Yeah.
what part of me feels
Yeah.
limited? I think part of maybe feeling like stuck in the neighborhood for too long, or like wanting to expand the space that I'm living in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say to
Yes.
you, okay, why does this part not have permission to do that? What is it thinking and
Okay.
feeling?
What is the
inside?
thought form that's
Yeah.
stopping me from
Yeah, yeah.
giving myself
Yeah.
permission? I think it has to do with holding on to what I have and not.
Okay. So where is holding on coming from?
Fear of not having. Fear.
But
Fear.
where did that originate?
Can we go back to past lives?
We can go back to past lives.
Is that, do you do
Yeah,
that
I
in
do
your
that.
work?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it comes from my previous lifetime in Germany, maybe during the war,
Okay.
where everything was maybe taken away on that level.
Okay, so if you tune into that part, does that part, is it still operating even though it was in a past
I think
life?
it's still operating
Okay, so,
on some level.
okay. All right, well, let's try something out.
Okay.
Well, you know how when babies are born, they have a cord attached to their mother?
The umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Yes.
When the cord gets cut, we still have a cord, but it's energetic. I'm sure you've heard of this.
I have. Yes.
Okay, so you would have a cord attached from you to this part
Past
of you in the
lifetime.
past life.
Oh.
And the energy would be flowing,
So I
to
have to
you.
cut the cord.
not cut,
Or not cut.
clear.
Clear.
Right?
As opposed to cut.
Yeah,
Okay.
because clear, and then you can dissolve it maybe, but cutting it means that the energy is going to explode everywhere.
So I don't want to cut it.
You
I
don't
want
wanna
to
cut it.
clear because the wisdom of that lifetime can then
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
But the stuff that wasn't positive.
Then
or-
you can release it and clear
Okay,
it.
so how do we clear?
And so we visualize a cord, right?
Okay, I'll do
going
that.
from you to that German life.
Yeah, I think it was Polish, but still.
Okay, or Polish.
Whatever it was.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, so you don't even have to see it exactly.
Okay,
because you
just
can
get a sense of it, yeah.
And then you allow that energy to kind of, it's like the cord is energetic, right? So if you cut energy, you just can't.
The energy will still
Yeah.
be there. Or
But yeah. But what you can do is you can allow the energy to flow out.
the clearing of the energy.
Yes, it's like, and
So
what I
what's
do how I share it with people is you do it in the middle.
of the cord.
Yeah, so
okay.
that you have the part from you right now that is holding on to
Yes.
that starts cleansing out into the middle,
Okay.
right? Comes out. And the part of you in that life that's holding, you clear it out into the middle as well.
Okay, I think I can do that.
You see? And then you allow this positive energy to flow.
So just see it as clear.
Yeah, clearing. So it's almost like waterfalls kind of coming out of this dense, limited energy that might look a bit gray or brown. And then once you've done that, we're going to put gold through, because gold is
Okay.
abundance.
I see the water flowing now, the clear, bright, cleansing water flowing through that cord. Okay, now?
And so as it's clearing out, right, then we bring colors in. So we bring gold, because gold is strengthening and it's abundant and it's about connection,
Okay.
right? Because we want the wisdom and the connection.
Right,
And so now
so-
you would visualize that.
Okay. I see that.
And then you would go, okay, now I'm going to bring some, I talk about soul fragments.
Okay.
You know, because this is more about that ancient soul wisdom, because we
Yes.
often leave some parts of the soul. You know, this is kind of...
We leave, through trauma, we leave parts
Yeah.
of us behind
Yeah.
that need to be integrated later. So
Exactly.
Yes.
And so then you would ask for the soul fragments of limitation to be released from your body, right? And so, and usually they get stuck around the chest area.
Okay, so I asked that internally.
Yeah, and you can, again, kind of sense and visualize them being cleansed and moving, dissolving, you know, and then you would ask to bring back soul fragments of abundance and
Okay.
expansion and permission to do and have what you want.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it? That's
Yeah,
easy.
so it's easy.
I feel it. I mean, I feel a little more energy.
Yeah, because
something.
it's like, it's subtle,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not subtle, but it can be subtle. But this is, we're talking about something on a deeper level, right?
Yeah.
And this is spiritual soul work that I like to do, you know.
But isn't it
vibrational.
all spiritual soul work? Even if you have a pain in your knee, it's still a spiritual lesson
Oh, yeah.
that we've incarnated to learn about. So you would use the same technique for all the issues that come up?
I always explore, you know, and so in the book, I don't talk so much about the soul fragments in this book. It's going to be in the next one.
Okay, but
you
that's
know.
good. It's
This
more
one-
shamanic.
Yeah, it's more shamanic.
Yes.
This book is more about really understanding your body and the messages and exploring and going on a journey of exploration inside yourself and using more of all the aspects of your body. So you use your mind, you use your nervous system, you use your feelings, you use touch, you use movement, you use your voice.
You use colors as
You
well.
use colors and vibrations and energy.
So you use your whole being
Yeah.
to create a healing. So you're teaching people really how to heal,
yeah.
how to be the healers of their own life.
That's right, and you know, and also that divine connection. And so I looked at every aspect, and I wanted this book to be more of an opening for people to go, I don't want this to be scary or a bit like, you know,
Woo woo.
yeah,
Right,
but
out there.
more about anybody can use it, anybody can have it on their shelf and connect with it and go, okay, this makes sense to me. This is common sense as well, right?
It is. It's common psychological sense. But you've seen also miraculous healings, haven't you? Or what would be
I
called?
have. I've seen lots.
Like what? Tell the
Well,
audience.
okay, well, one of the reasons that I actually wanted to put processes in this book was because I remember when I was working for about 4 or 5 years, I met this mother, you know, it was like at a mother's kind of event. And she asked me what I did, and I said, I do healing work. And she said, oh, I'm not interested in that. And I was like, okay. The next day, I get a phone call from her, and she's really upset. And she's saying to me, my son, he's in the hospital, he has pneumonia, and he's dying. I'm saying goodbye. And so I'm just hearing that, and I'm going, no, don't say goodbye yet. Let me see if I can do some distance healing on him. And so let me see if I can tune in.
And so you tune in the same way you just
Yeah.
tuned in and okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm tuning in and I see this water and I see a hole in his esophagus.